I'm indifferent.
I don't believe in God.
To the existence of God.
God is not judging them.
I don't have proof.
I don't know how to pray.
They're judging themselves.
You know, where is God in all of this? This is my home.
God exists.
What does it say about God that he created the orgasm?
I don't pledge allegiance to anything.
I don't pray.
Only to God.
If there was a God.
And I thought,
I just have this understanding that life is hard.
He could never love me after this.
God is still good.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Maybe God podcast. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way. I hope all of you are having a great holiday week so far. I'm your host, Eric Huffman, and today we have a very special treat. Here in the studio with me is my own firstborn daughter, Joelle, and she is back with us after our January interview where she became the interviewer and I became the subject of the interview. She came at me hard with all kinds of tough questions from her heart, and to our surprise, that was one of our most listened to and most watched interviews ever on the Maybe God podcast. So back by popular demand today for this Thanksgiving episode of Maybe God is my daughter, Joelle. Welcome to the studio here, Joelle.
Hey, happy to be here.
So I'm glad we can make this work because, first of all, everybody's wanted to have you back on. We hear that question all the time. Also, we almost couldn't make this work because we're both a little bit, I wouldn't say under the weather, but our voices, both of us are struggling a little bit today.
Yeah.
Me out of fatigue, just preaching all day yesterday, and you have been a little bit fighting off a cold or something.
Yeah.
Doing okay now?
Yeah, better.
Voice, as of yesterday, this interview was very much up in the air. We weren't sure.
Yeah.
But you're back.
Mm-hmm.
Good. And you're off school all week.
Yes.
So that's great.
Super exciting.
Yeah, super exciting. So there's a lot I want to get into today. I've got about 10 questions for you because you had 10 questions for me. Okay, and our topics are going to range a wide variety of topics from like everything from like pop culture to like what's going on with you and you're 16 now, all that, and also just the Bible and things like what it's like to be a Christian at your age and things like that. So we're going to have a good time today. Okay.
All right. I'm ready.
All right. You look ready. Okay. I know this is probably odd for a 16-year-old girl. Like you got a lot going on. You feel like you're under a lot of pressure and things. So I really am grateful that you're sitting down with us and talking. I think it's valuable for our listeners to hear your vantage point. Seriously, I do.
Thank you.
So thanks for taking the risk and doing this. All right. As I mentioned, you did recently turn 16. You're now 16 and a month old, or as your mother and I still refer to you as, you're 193 months old. So our little baby is 193 months. So just talk to us about what that's like. I mean, what's it like being 16 in 2023?
It feels the same as 15, but
exactly the same?
Yeah.
You mean that?
Pretty much, yeah.
Huh.
I do.
Yeah.
Just driving is the only difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's that going?
It's going okay. It's a little scary, especially the first couple of times. It was really scary to drive on real roads.
Yeah.
But
we worked in the parking lot for a while.
Yeah, we did. This church parking lot.
Tried not to hit anybody's car in the parking lot. That would be really awkward.
Yeah, that would not be good.
But you're getting better. You really are. You're working at it.
A little.
So next, highways are next.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah. So for our listeners that might not know, you don't have your license yet. That's in the works.
I have my permit.
Have your permit. So we're legal, and as long as I'm in the car with you.
As long as you're in the car.
Yeah. So, man, there's a special kind of stress that comes over a parent when you're in the passenger seat, and just it takes
when I'm driving.
It takes your prayer life to a new level. But we are working on it, and you're doing great. So the license should come by February. What kind of car are you getting?
Not sure. Still thinking about it.
Like it's up to you.
Totally up to me.
We're giving you some veto power, but it's a tough choice.
I just want a car with personality.
You keep saying that. A car with personality. Yeah. There's not a lot of cars with personality.
There's tons of cars with personality. I mean, you could get me a Volkswagen Beetle.
That will never happen. That's for sure. Because that's the thing. I'm trying to keep you alive, you know?
Well.
Personality can't come at the expense of, safety. And I want to get you something with 2 seats in it.
No.
So that you can't have more than one friend with you at a
time.
I
need 4 seats.
That's the
at
problem.
Least.
All right, we're going to move on from this. We're at a stalemate now. All right. So I was thinking about your life so far, 16, it's hard to believe, honestly. And as your dad, obviously it's flown by, and all the things dads say about that is true. It's just like you blink and it's like time just flies. But I was thinking about your childhood to this point and where I was at 16 and the differences. And I'm not sure you can conceive of it because your life is all you've ever known, right? But man, the world has changed so much. And I think about my childhood versus yours and the differences. Obviously, rural childhood for me, very rural.
Red Lick, Texas.
Red Lick, Texas. And you're growing up in the fourth largest city in the country and right in the middle of it too, you know? And and all that entails, I think you face a lot more pressure at school than I ever did to perform. You're learning things in high school that I didn't learn until college, if at all. But there's also other sides of it too that are different. The phones, the only phone I had ever used by the time I was 16 was like attached to a wall or a booth or something. And you guys are all carrying them around and things like that. I was just curious on your overall perspective on who has it better, let's say, who has it better, your generation or mine?
I think there's some things that are harder for both. Like, for one, I never opened a box of cereal to find bugs in it. And like,
oh,
you did.
that story. You're bringing that one.
Yeah.
And now I have to explain it. All right. So did I tell you that story?
Yes.
That's crazy. So yeah, one time my dad and I had gotten back from the grocery store and we always typically bought off-brand cereal for economic reasons. And I ate a bowl of cereal first and I just downed it like I did, like I was a teenage boy. So he just like blink and I've eaten the whole thing. And then he poured a bowl and poured milk in the bowl and there were bugs, like little bugs, dead bugs that rose to the surface when he poured the milk. And he was like, just appalled, you know, he's like, oh, gross. And then I started laughing at him because he had bugs in his cereal. And like, yeah, you almost really stepped in it there, Dad, you know? And then he's like looking at me, just waiting for me to get it. The fact that I had
You had just eaten that cereal.
eaten the whole bowl with the same exact cereal. All that extra protein.
That's disgusting.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure. I'm sure there's still cereals that, you know, and things that get contaminated. I think maybe we've had more money, I think, overall, as you've grown up than I ever had. So that's good, you know.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Fewer bugs in your cereal, I guess. I don't know.
Fewer uninvited guests in my soup.
Although there's a lot of bugs in Houston too, I can make a case that I've never saw roaches the size of roaches you've seen in your life.
Roaches are
flying roaches.
My biggest fear. They're so gross.
Yeah. What about other things like phones and internet?
I think having phones makes it easier for us because we can stay in contact with our friends and family at all times. So that's one way that it was harder for you as a kid.
Can you imagine?
No, I really can't. That's the thing. Like, I can't imagine not having a phone.
Yeah.
Like, when I don't have it, I'm like, how am I going to contact people? Like, how am I, like, I feel unsafe. It's crazy.
In a way, it was unsafe. Like, you never really knew where your family members were. Mm-hmm. And you just waited for them to check in. And when the phone rang, after waiting for a long time, the phone rang, you just leapt for joy because, like, maybe they're okay. And I remember, like, one time my dad didn't make it to work on time, and my mom sitting there frantically calling every hospital in the city and like trying to figure out what had happened to him because it wasn't like it is now, where everybody has a phone in their pocket, I guess. Mm-hmm. So, but
I think it is harder for my generation because of how hard we have to try in school. Like, it's more pressure to get good grades and to get into a good college and stuff like that, which might have just been different for you because you were in Red Lick. But I mean, maybe it was still a lot of pressure for other places, but you know.
I could make a case it was harder for me because to be in the top 10% in my graduating class, you had to be like top 4.
Yeah, that's true. But also, I mean, how smart were the kids in your class?
Hey, come on now.
I'm just asking a question. How smart were the kids in your class?
All right, not very. So, and I still didn't make top 10%. So
you didn't make.
Yeah. The other side of it, though, is sweet princess daughter. By the time I was 16, I'd already had multiple jobs. You know, and I was driving at 14 and like and working however I could to paid
Yeah.
my way. So
Yeah, that
many
does make
jobs
it
have you
harder
had?
for you. No jobs.
yeah, that's what I thought. All right, smarty pants.
Hey, I would work. I would.
I know you would actually. It's not you, it's me.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
you.
I just can't. I can't.
I would work at Barnes and Nobles like this.
Yeah, I know you would, but only to read the books, probably, because you're a bookworm. But I just can't do it. I don't know why. My bad. So I'm going to keep you at home as long as I can. All right. Third question has to do with pop culture. Okay. We talk a lot about pop culture because as obviously a pastor, a Christian dad, trying to raise Christian kids, you're living in the real world. You go to public school where, we see what's going on in the world. Constant questions about what should kids be allowed to do. Okay. And I know every parent answers this differently. And I just want to ask you your opinion. And we both understand it's just your opinion. All right. So we're not passing judgment on anybody who disagrees, right? But in your opinion, should Christian kids, I'm just going to ask you a series of questions under this one question. All right. So should Christian kids be allowed to listen to, let's start with the obvious, Taylor Swift?
Yes. I'm biased.
Yeah.
But
All
yeah.
of Taylor Swift?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think any of her music is harmful. Like, I think
Really?
it's, well, what's harmful?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe the whole witchcraft thing.
No, that's one song.
Okay.
One song.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So
Not one song. The rest of it's okay.
So yes, with maybe a couple caveats, and also all of the all the premarital sex and things like that too. But we'll just
Yeah,
overlook.
but they're not demonic. Like, there's a difference.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Okay, let's keep
Yeah.
going then. Should Christian kids be allowed to listen to Doja Cat?
well, back to demonic.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's definitely up to the person, but personally, Doja Cat does do a lot of things that I think go against our religion.
How can you tell if somebody's all in demonic or not?
Well, she does dress up like demons a lot.
It's the horns for you, right?
It's the horns and like the fangs and the eyes with no pupils and
yeah,
stuff like that.
Yeah, stuff like that.
But it's just creepy to me. I guess some people would be fine with it, but
Yeah.
just not me.
Yeah, there's a certain kind of discernment you have to do as a parent or as a
Yeah.
teenager, right? It's like you have to look at something with spiritual eyes and decide, what are they trying to convey? What are they really about? And for
Yeah.
you, Taylor Swift, mostly okay. Doja Cat, mostly not.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. The problem is some of those songs just sound so good.
I know. They're really
know?
catchy.
Yeah. Should Christian kids be allowed to read or watch Harry Potter?
This is a hard one because when we were younger, we did watch Harry Potter.
Right.
As with the knowledge that it was just a story and not something that we should do,
Yeah,
I guess.
sure.
But now, our mom is very against Harry Potter.
I'm aware.
Heavily against Harry Potter, and we're not allowed to watch it anymore. But I think if you're strong in your knowledge that witchcraft is bad and stuff like that, it's not too harmful.
Again, you can watch it with a discerning eye, right? If you understand what you're seeing.
And Harry Potter does mimic the Bible, like it's in its storyline. It has the same structure as the
Sure.
Bible.
Well, it has the Christ figure
Yeah, the Christ figure.
and all of the supporting cast. They line up pretty well. A lot of people have said Harry Potter actually mimics exactly the storyline of Star Wars. Like
It really does. Though.
almost plagiarism.
Yeah.
If y'all don't know what we're talking about, you can probably find it on YouTube
Yeah.
or somewhere. But there's been some pretty intense studies done about that. But Star Wars absolutely follows sort of
I love Star Wars. It's
Christological, storyline.
Yeah.
There's always bad elements to it. And parents are just going to have to decide where to draw the line. Otherwise, you're just going to have to raise a kid in a cave and expose them to nothing, which obviously can't be the right way.
Yeah, definitely.
We just all have to figure out where the line is. You want a couple more of these, or should we move on?
Sure, let's do a couple more.
Should Christian kids be allowed to watch Euphoria?
I haven't seen Euphoria personally, but from what I've heard, it's really wild. Like
Yeah, a lot of drugs.
a lot of drugs, a lot of just crazy things.
Sex and things?
Yeah.
You didn't want to say that word, did you? It's okay. I get it. You can say coloring. Okay. Like we do at church. It's funny.
Yeah, but I'm not sure. Up to viewer discretion.
Some of your friends get into it?
Not my close friends, I don't think, but a lot of my friends are movie people, so.
Movie people?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Twilight? Yes or no?
Actually, we just watched Twilight.
No, I'm assuming. I'll never understand why your mom's cool with Twilight, but
And not Harry Potter.
We're going to move on from that.
Twilight, every time I watch it, it's just more and more weird.
Super weird.
It's just,
On a lot of levels. Yeah.
people love those movies, so it's
Okay.
crazy.
Yeah. Last one. Should a Christian kid be allowed to unsupervised, listen to Olivia Rodrigo?
Personally, I do like Olivia Rodrigo.
I know.
Well, some. It's really half and half for me, but I guess it's really up to the parents, but
Okay.
I don't see a big problem with it.
Not a major red flag for you. Okay. Last question in this little category is: should Christian kids be allowed unlimited phone access?
Maybe not unlimited, but not like every action is monitored, sort of. You know what I mean?
I feel like you're coming at me for something here.
No.
As a father who monitors every action. Every action.
But you don't control every action, and
Yeah.
there's a difference.
Right.
But I mean,
just creep and spy.
well, not every parent, but most parents check their kids' phones, I think.
Yeah.
So,
You're okay with that?
yeah.
Kind of?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
But,
You guys are so much smarter than us. You're probably 3 steps ahead, but I don't want to know. Just don't tell me.
well, no, it's not like I'm hiding anything. It's just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
For most kids, you think there should be some boundaries with a phone.
yeah. Like having social media too young. I know people do this a lot, but there was a girl I knew in 2nd grade who had Snapchat on her phone, and I feel like that's
In
a little
2nd grade.
Yeah, a little too early. She had a phone, and the newest model of a phone, and she had like Snapchat and Instagram and everything, and I just thought that was a lot.
Yeah.
For her age.
Yeah. Now, you have Snapchat now.
I do.
And that's the one thing I try to monitor, but I have no idea. I don't know what I'm doing. So
I think I'm pretty safe with it. I only add people I know, which is a good first step.
right. Yeah.
And, I don't really post on it much. And
Sure.
I don't know. I don't think that one's too dangerous if you use it right. So
Is there a more dangerous social media app that people have?
I'm not sure because I don't have any other ones, but
Good answer. Make my father's heart sing. No TikTok for you?
I don't know.
TikTok
I
is,
don't.
no, you don't have it.
Yeah, I don't have
Right.
it. But
But a lot of kids do, I guess, right?
yeah, I know a lot of people are on it a lot.
Yeah. Well,
It's a very addictive app.
it's just what the Chinese Communist Party wants. What's it like having a father who's a conspiracy theorist, by the way?
Conspiracy. It's always interesting. I love hearing the conspiracy theories.
There's a new one every day, baby.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so next question. I think we'll talk about a little bit about friendship, okay? Friendship's an important theme to me in my preaching and leadership, and obviously we talk a lot about it. You posed a question to me back in January when you were on the podcast for the first time about whether or not Christians should pursue and foster meaningful relationships, friendships with non-Christians, or whether we should just try to have friends who are Christian. And I sort of, I went round and round with that question. I think I gave a 30-minute answer, which you probably would expect after hearing me preach all these years. But I would like to throw that back at you and say, do you think Christian teenagers like yourself should primarily pursue friendships with Christians only, or have you seen it work where Christians can pursue and foster meaningful relationships, friendships with non-Christians?
I would say I have a lot of friends who are like close friends who are non-Christians, and they're amazing people, the same as my Christian friends are. And I think it's definitely very meaningful to have friends who are Christians and non-Christians. And I mean, it's obviously easier to like connect on a deeper level with friends who are Christian But I think that it's very possible to make meaningful connections with both.
Yeah, I love that answer. And are you able to do that without compromising your Christianity at all?
Yeah, I think if you have a strong foundation for your Christianity, it shouldn't be hard to have friends who are Christians and non-Christians.
And what happens when that topic comes up? Is it just ignored, or is it talked about in a respectful way where you talk about your differences and things?
Usually with my friends, they will ask questions and I'll answer them. And even if they don't agree, it's like it's a good conversation to have. And it's usually respectful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really good point. I think my answer back when you asked me was like, no, I think our closest friends should all be Christians. But you raise a great point. Maybe there's a downside to Christians only having Christian friends.
Yeah.
What do you think that would be?
I think it's sheltering yourself from the real world. And I think it's good to have a variety of friends and not just stick to one.
It actually makes you a better Christian?
I think so.
Yeah. You learn to talk to people that aren't in the same silo as you.
Not to assume everyone's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to deny that Jesus actively pursued relationships with people who were not in his same sort of ideological camp, let's say, you know, prostitutes and tax collectors and folks of all stripes, and pursued them to befriend them, you know. I think there's a lot more to be said there, but I think from a starting point, like, I think you're spot on. I think your answer is better than mine was in January, so that's great. Okay, let's get really uncomfortable. Are you ready?
Okay.
Let's talk a little bit about dating in 2023. Okay. You know, this is a topic near to my heart as a pastor. I've spent the whole summer talking to my congregation here at the Story about dating and the plight of online dating today. I know you're not online dating at all, right? Hopefully. And it's not a thing for y'all yet, but I assume that's coming later. And your generation now, your kids your age are starting to sort of experiment with dating a little bit. Although I will say it's been interesting. Maybe this is just a limited sort of sample size, but my experience with you and your peers is that you're much less into dating than I was when I was 16. I mean, I talk about having a job and all these other noble things, but by the time I was 16, I had like dated multiple girls, and that was like the first thing on everybody's mind. The reason I had those jobs was to have money to take those girls out. Like, that was everything. And it doesn't seem to be as high a priority for y'all these days. Is that true? And if so, why?
I think that is pretty true. I think it's a lot about having a fear of rejection. A lot of my friends are scared of being rejected, and that's why they don't talk to guys. But
it's risky.
Yeah, it's risky because if you do get rejected, it's like you'll get made fun of a little. Maybe not.
That's always been the case, right?
Yeah.
What do you think's different now? You think it's just?
I think it affects people more, maybe.
Really?
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's mostly a fear of rejection.
Interesting.
And also like just being scared of ridicule.
I wonder what the why is there, and I don't want to become like a psychoanalyst or anything. I'm like, yeah, we were all scared of rejection too, you know, that, but we kind of got over it in a way. And I don't want to just say, well, y'all are just more fragile than we were, but because y'all are way stronger than we were in a lot of ways. But it seems like, I don't know, maybe there's more of an emphasis on the self, more of a self-focused worldview.
Maybe.
Where rejection is more of a, you know, existential crisis now than it was. I don't know. I really don't want to be super harsh about Gen Z or anything. I know everybody's always coming at you guys, and I'm not about that life. I think Gen Z is awesome. You guys are going to add to the world, not take away from it, I think. But the dating thing is weird to me. I just, I don't know why everybody's so timid.
Yeah, I think it's just mostly, like I said.
Really?
Fear of rejection.
So who are you seeing? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. No.
Okay.
Yeah. Any prospects? I'm just joking. I'll move on. I would have expected obviously you're a beautiful girl, smart. I just expected by the time you were 16, I would have, like, in my mind a few years ago, I was like, well, they're going to be like barbarians at the gate. You know, the guys are going to be like barbarians at the gate, and nobody's pursuing anybody anymore. It's just interesting
Yeah.
to me. I think y'all will get around to it, maybe. Once your parents stop checking your phones every night, probably. Maybe that's it. Okay, so when you do start dating, let's go through the ideal date. What do you think the ideal date is in 2023?
I don't know. Like, most people just go out to eat or go to Rice Village.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Rice Village being like a walkable,
Yeah.
like shopping center. Yeah.
With food.
Yeah. Yeah. You expect a guy to like ask you in person?
I mean, I would hope so.
What do you, if he asked you by text, would you say yes?
I don't know. It depends.
Do you guys still, we're going off script here. Do you guys still like ask each other to go, we used to call it going steady, like be your boyfriend and girlfriend, or do you just like casually go out?
People will like, they'll talk first. They'll be in the talking
The
stage.
talking stage.
And then I guess
And
goes
is there
from
still
there
a,
to exclusivity. And then
there's an
to dating.
expectation of that?
Of exclusivity?
Yeah, eventually?
Not for the first part. For some people, not for the first part, but
Yeah.
yeah.
How about you?
I don't know. I would hope it'd be exclusive.
That's my girl. That's my girl. Good. Okay, that's what I hope you say. Okay. We'll move on.
Okay.
You ready to move on from that?
I am ready.
Okay, so for 16 years now, you've observed your mother and I in marriage and our family and everything and my dynamic with your mom. It's a weird way to grow up with two parents.
Yeah.
And one's from Ed Lake and the other's from Quito, Ecuador. And, you know, it's been a weird experience, I'm sure, but it's the only one you've ever known, so it might not be weird to you. What have you seen from your mom and I that has sort of shown you what marriage should be, or what have you seen you want to take from our relationship and hopefully have in yours later? And maybe even, I won't be offended, what have you seen you're like, nah, I don't want to do it that way?
You know, I haven't seen much that makes me think, no, don't want to do
Really?
it that way. Yeah, not that I can think of right now.
Your mom and I are
but
very intense.
Yeah.
We're very
Yeah.
intense people. We're not get along
It's
people.
just, yeah,
We're
I
fight it out
guess.
people. Have you noticed?
a little. I mean,
What do you notice about that though?
I don't know. I like that you guys get to the point and
Yeah.
then get past it, which is
That's
great.
it. That's what I hoped you would say. Is that we fight it out to get past it. Yeah.
But one thing that I do notice that I would love to bring in to my life later, obviously.
Much later, yes.
Yeah. would be that you guys are in love, but you're also best friends, which is, I think, the perfect way to do marriage. Like,
Yeah.
to be really close in a friendly way, too.
Yeah. Could I ask for like any more like specificity? Like, what did you see from our relationship that screams friendship to you?
I mean, you tell each other everything, and that's how I act with my friends, and you joke around with each other.
Yeah.
And it's just really like, it's very, I don't know, it's very friendly, but also like you're very in love too.
Yeah. Yeah, the friendship definitely is the driver of the romance and not the other way around.
Yeah.
I mean, truly. And I think that's what's given us some staying power as a couple. So that's really good to hear. I'm glad that you've seen that. All right, good. Before you get negative now on that, I'm going to move on to the next topic. So I've got 3 questions left, okay? I'm going to let you decide the order in which I ask them. So I have a current events question, I have a thought experiment question, and I have a Bible question. What would you like to hear first?
The first one.
The current events question?
Yeah.
It's not as interesting as it sounds. All right? Okay. I could go really serious and be like, tell me your thoughts on the Gaza crisis.
Okay, well, let's not go there.
Okay, maybe not.
Yeah, no.
So current events being, this is Thanksgiving week. So this is, Thanksgiving is upon us, and Thanksgiving has always been one of my favorite holidays.
Me too.
Yeah, it's great. When you're in a preacher family, you look forward to holidays like Thanksgiving, where there's no high-pressure church stuff involved.
I love the high-pressure church stuff.
I don't.
What's the difference?
Yeah. I got a little bit more on my plate during those times. But the Thanksgiving and New Year's are top of my list for those reasons.
Yeah.
So the obvious question is, this year, 2023, what are you most thankful for?
Honestly, the church and the friends I have at church. And
Are you saying that because it's what I want to hear?
no, I'm
'Cause
actually.
I really want to hear that.
I know, because I really am grateful for it. Like, I look forward. I look forward to
You
church
do.
every Sunday.
You
Like,
really
I hate
do.
missing church.
Yeah.
I know y'all need your Sundays off.
We need
but
a Sunday off once in a while, but
if
you
I
really
could
do get
choose
mad
to
at
come
us.
to church,
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah, I know you would, and I love that. I mean, because most preachers' kids by this age have turned on the church. So that's fantastic to hear. What's special about coming to church with the friends that you have here? What do you have here?
It's just like, it's so easy to be friends with people here. It's just easy conversations, and I don't know. It's always a laugh, and
Yeah.
it's a great community. I love it a lot.
Do you feel a sense of responsibility for this place, for this community? Like, do you feel like you have an official role in a sense? I know you're not like
Not
on
really.
staff or
I
anything.
honestly feel like every other churchgoer
Really?
most of the time.
That's awesome. We've done that on purpose. Because that's how, your mom and I both grew up pastors' kids.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to shield you and your brother from the normal pressure that comes along with that. So, music to my ears. Great. I honestly did not expect you to say, I know you're grateful for the church. I just didn't know that was the top of your list.
It is this year.
The church has been through a lot,
Mm-hmm.
So I understand that level of gratitude. Okay, 2 more questions. We've got the thought experiment, and we've got the Bible question.
The Bible question.
All right, we'll end with the thought experiment in a minute. Bible question is simple. I'd like to know, we encourage Bible reading a lot. We've always read the Bible a lot around our house. I think I know the answer to this question, but sometimes things change. Either you can tell us your favorite book of the Bible or your favorite character in the Bible.
Well, I have the same answer for both.
Really?
Esther. I love Esther.
Esther.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, she's a book and a person.
Yep. I love her. I love the story mostly because it never says the name of God
Yeah.
in that story.
Why do you like that?
Because it shows that you can see God without having to name him in the story.
Yeah.
Because you can see him everywhere. I mean, he put Esther in that position so that she could save his people. And, she was so brave. And I honestly would never have that bravery, to risk your life.
Yeah. I mean, she had everything for herself if she wanted it.
Mm-hmm. She was the queen. She could have just kept her mouth shut and lived a comfortable life. But
Yeah.
she chose differently, which
Yeah.
is something I know a lot of people wouldn't have the power to do. And it just shows you that God is in that story, even though he's not named.
Right. The only book in the Bible where he's not named.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's really cool. And one of 2 books in the Bible named after women as well, the other being Ruth.
Ruth. I love Ruth too.
You love that story too?
Yeah. It's almost a tie.
Yeah? Esther's a little more awesome than Ruth, I think.
Yeah.
Like just
A
from
little more.
just from like the heroine sort of
Yeah.
perspective, That's awesome. Thank you. Great answer. I expected one or the other. You gave me both. Favorite book and favorite character.
I love Esther.
All right, let's end with the thought experiment then, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to tell you 4 things,
Okay.
and you get to keep 3 for the rest of your life.
Oh.
But the 4th one has to go away forever. Okay?
Okay.
First one is books. I know what an
Okay.
avid reader you are. Seriously, hours on end, you just read nonstop.
This is true.
Books. Movies. Our family's big into movies, so giving that up would be huge. Books, movies, music,
Okay.
like listening to music,
Yes.
and social media, like all social media, including Snapchat and Instagram and all that stuff.
Okay.
You have to get rid of one forever. What would it be and why?
Probably. Well, okay. I need to know what all counts as social media. Like, does messages count as social media?
Like on texting?
Yeah.
No.
No?
But YouTube does and things like YouTube.
Okay. Then throw social media and keep the rest.
Social media gone forever?
I mean, I only have Snapchat, so I think I could live without Snapchat.
Yeah.
And
You can live without Facebook?
I think I could probably live without Facebook.
Yeah. You're not really into Facebook, are you?
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like, but
You're not missing anything.
I don't imagine I'd be super into it.
So social media goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if I had it, I'd probably want to keep it. But
You've never had it.
I don't know what it's like, so ignorance is bliss.
Oh, it really is. In this case, it absolutely is bliss, and enjoy it. Okay, so to follow up on that, you've got 3 things now.
Do I have
got-
to take out another one?
You've got books, music, and movies. Choose one more to live without for the rest of your life from that top 3, and why?
Oh, wait, no, because I took out YouTube.
Yeah. But that's just YouTube. So.
So if I take out movies, I can still watch like shows.
Ah. Well, you got me, didn't you? I guess you could, actually.
I mean, I would rather watch movies than shows, but because I could never watch The Hunger Games again.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
Would be very sad, wouldn't it? It's another one we just watched again recently.
I would cry.
What is it?
I mean, I'm keeping books for sure.
Keeping books for
but
sure.
Music, and I love music. You know, I listen to music all the time. I always demand you to play music. In the
You listen to
car.
music, you play music all the time?
Yeah, I do.
Every night while I'm trying to go to sleep?
But The Hunger Games.
Come on. You could let that go, right?
No. Wait, but I'd have the books still. So I can, okay. I'm keeping music and books
All right.
and throwing out movies.
Wow. What a refined little girl you are now. That's great. Yeah. Okay. Those are good answers. Man, I don't know what I would do. I love my books. I'd probably say music. I don't care that much about music. Even Taylor, she can go.
Even say
I could live
Oh my
without music.
gosh.
But I would definitely give up social media first because I've just grown to really despise it. So it's a necessary evil at this point.
necessary.
Yeah.
I guess it is for you.
Yeah. Good job. You knocked it out of the park today.
Thank you.
Got any questions for me? Follow-up questions?
I don't know.
You're good?
I don't know. I'm trying to think.
No pressure.
Some things that why do you not like social media anymore?
I think it makes people anxious
Oh,
across the board. Even
think it
positive
does.
social media makes people anxious from FOMO and from feeling inadequate.
mm-hmm.
And I just think it's been a net negative for the world. And I think, back to my conspiracy theories, I'm pretty sure it's a psyop by the CIA to control us. So that's just my personal opinion.
Well, you should get out of that as fast as you can. Run, don't walk.
Run, don't walk. Oh man, this has been fun. Yeah, I'm glad we're able to document my slow descent into insanity by virtue of this podcast.
Next comes the birds are robots.
The birds are robots. Birds aren't real. All that. So, wow, it's always fun to talk to you. Both
You too.
with mics in front of us and not. This is, if you're watching or listening, this is pretty much how every conversation goes between Joelle and me. We have a great conversation all the time.
We
do.
do.
Being your dad is just the highest honor of my life. So really grateful for that privilege, grateful to God, and grateful to you as well. And I hope all of you who are listening or watching have a great Thanksgiving. So from Houston, Texas, here in the Maybe God studio, Joelle and I say goodbye and happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.